All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Marcia, and I am joined this morning by Krista, our communications staffer at Our Saviors, and her daughter Elena. She is the one that's going to make us look cool and hip in the kitchen this morning. So thanks, Elena, for keeping it real for us. But today we are making communion bread. And we are making communion bread that is actually without yeast, and we're doing it on purpose. Because when the Israelites were making bread, and they were commanded by God to be, when they were making bread, they were commanded by God to make it freely, make it fast. And so they made bread without yeast to be prepared for the journey that they would take when they left Egypt to go to the Promised Land. So we are going to make some communion bread without yeast. In order to do that, Elena and Krista, they're all ready, but I just want to show you the ingredients that I have, and you guys should have the recipe, but you are going to make sure that you have 2 kinds of flour. I have whole wheat flour, which looks like this, and I've already pre-measured into bowls and stuff here, but whole wheat flour, yep. White flour is this one. You're going to need a ratio of 2 cups to 1 cup of white flour. If you do not have wheat flour, and many people don't, you can just use 3 cups of white flour, but wheat flour is probably more authentic to what the Israelites would have used. So I've got both of these pre-measured just like this. You're also going to need both of these. Now, sometimes people get these confused. When I was a younger kid, I used to get these confused. But you're going to need baking powder and baking soda. And you're going to be needing a teaspoon and a quarter of each of those. So we'll add those down the road. We've also pre-measured 3 other ingredients actually that you're going to need. You're going to need some molasses. Doesn't matter if it is mild or if it's strong or if it's darker molasses, but you'll need some molasses. You will also need honey. Okay? So the funny thing about honey is if I say honey again, and you look at Elena and Krista, their dog's name is Honey. So when I say honey, the dog pays attention. But in my house, I said honey, and my husband said, yes, dear. So you get what you get, I guess, right? This is home kitchen 101. Hi, honey. Oh, sweet puppy. There, she's famous now for 30 seconds of fame, or half a second, whatever. The other thing that you're going to need is a bowl or a cup, but you're going to need some cooking oil. So you'll need to be mixing the cooking oil into your bread, but you also need it afterwards with one of these. I love this one. This one's my favorite, but a little brush. So if you have a brush, you can also use a paper towel dipped into the oil and rub it over the bread when we're done. If you don't have any of these things, you can do what most people do in the kitchen, that you modify. You make do with what you have, and that works just great. So to start with, to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to mix all of the dry ingredients together. Now the recipe says sift dry ingredients together 3 times. If you have a wooden spoon and you don't have a sifter, most people probably these days don't really have a sifter. But what you can do is take a wire whisk. You have a wire whisk. If you take a wire whisk and you mix all the flour together, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get all the different kinds of dry things all mixed really, really well. So you'll take the whole wheat flour.
What do I do with this?
Put it in your bowl.
Okay.
You will take your white flour. So you have 2 cups of whole wheat, 1 cup of white. And I will take a little pause there and start, stirring either with your spoon or your whisk. As you can see, the colors look just a little different. The whole wheat flour is a little darker and kind of grainier and grittier, and the white flour is very, very fine. But it should look a little bit like this. This is actually really, really good and mixed. So I don't know if you can see how that is, but it also looks pretty light and fluffy. So to that, you're going to want to add a teaspoon and a quarter each. So if you've got measuring spoons, you're going to need these. This is the quarter. It's a teeny little one, and the teaspoon is about that size. Okay, you're going to need those in a teaspoon and a quarter each of baking soda and baking powder. So once these are in, it's very important that you go through and you sift it with that, one more time. If the baking powder or the baking soda is all in one spot, you're going to get a nasty little bitter taste in one bite. Somebody will. Since it's in your family, somebody in your family is going to draw that unlucky straw. And it's not going to taste very good. So you're going to want to make sure you do that really well. If you have more people in your family, let's say you have 3 children, 3 brothers, sisters, whatever, and you're making the bread all together, make sure everybody gets a chance to whisk that together. Because eventually what will happen is everybody gets a chance to put their hands in the batter, no matter how many people are helping do that. All right, so once you have the dry ingredients, whisk together really, really well, and you're confident that that's there.
Oh, so it was supposed to be salt, not baking soda.
It is supposed to be salt. Yep, that was my bad. Did you
What
put it
happened
in
to
too?
baking soda?
Did you put it in too?
So you were going over the ingredients and you said baking soda, and then I looked at Elena like, what? I didn't see anything like that. So then I quickly got it out and I measured it out and put it in and everything.
Well, you know,
What happens if you put baking soda in bread? What happens if you put baking soda in bread?
so here's one of the interesting things about Lutherans that's my favorite, is that we're all about grace and mercy. So when we make mistakes, we make mistakes trusting that we are forgiven. And so
This will still
grace
make
and
bread.
mercy. We're gonna so our new title is the Luther Seminary Communion Bread a la Grace and Mercy version.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Very much. All
It
right.
works.
So then the next step of this is that you cut in 4 tablespoons of oil. For kiddos, make sure your parents are helping you. This is the teaspoon. This is the one that you used for the salt and the baking powder. But you need this big one. These are tablespoons. So a teaspoon and a tablespoon.
Teaspoons or tablespoons?
We want 4 tablespoons. 4 tablespoons. Yep, see? And it happens all the time. It's okay. So what it's going to do is, and it says to cut it in. That does not mean that you take a knife and add it. What you're going to do is, in my bowl, if you can kind of see this a little bit, you're going to take the oil and do this. And the easiest thing to do at this point is to take your whisk out of the mix. We're done with the whisk at this point. Everything else is going to be either fingers or fork. If you have a fork is a really great tool. But you're just going to start stirring that around so that as much of your mix touches the oil as possible. And can you see that there are chunks starting to form there? That's a good thing. We want those chunks. Okay? So essentially we're just mixing that around a little bit. Alrighty.
why I don't mix, Mom.
You do. There you go.
This is why I don't mix.
All right. Are you guys ready?
We're ready.
You're ready. All right. So the next 3 ingredients kind of go all together. If you need to, like one of the things I have in my drawer is this handy dandy little tool. It can help you get like the little corners of these ingredients out if they're stuck into the container. But you are now going to need hot water, your honey, and your oil to add them together. So the hot water is going to help you. I would put these in first. I would go honey first. Hi, honey.
And here,
She's asleep.
Oh,
she's dead.
a dog's life, right? Sitting at the feet, waiting for tidbits to come to the floor. Also, having a dog at your feet in the kitchen, that's something we would have never been able to do if we were doing this at the church. So look. All right, so I would put your honey in, put the molasses in, and then add the, yep. So if you guys have noticed, the cups that are in your little cleaning kit, those are the ones that we're using to do the measuring with, especially for those ingredients like the molasses and honey that are super sticky. So then over the top of this, hot water. How do I know if it's hot water? As hot as you can get it from your tap, don't add boiling water, but as hot as you can get it. So it says 3/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons. So this big one you're gonna need, if you go and check if you've got 3/4 of a cup of water, like this, then what you're going to do is just add 2 big tablespoons to that.
We're eating.
So it's not quite a full cup. When you have that, you're going to add that to your mix, and now it looks like kind of a brown gooey.
It looks like poop.
It looks gross. But if you've got your fork or mixing spoon, however you want to, you're going to start mixing that. If you've got many people in your house that you are baking with, let everybody take a turn. If we were doing this in the kitchen at church with our cleaning class, everybody would get a chance to do this part of it, because what happens is really, really fast your batter gets super stiff, super hard to stir, and small hands might have a little bit of a hard time. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to the point where we are going to make a mix that is bread that we're going to start to knead. Okay? So if you've got more than one person in your kitchen right now, you could have one person mixing, getting all the flour, trying to touch all the little parts of this that you can with flour, absorb all of the molasses and honey and water mix. You could have another person going back to your flour, making sure you have a good clear place to work. I clean mine off a little bit. You can make a mix of white or flour. Either one, whichever you have, it's your preference. But you're going to need to put some flour on the surface here so that when you put the bread down and start to knead it, that you it won't stick. Okay. So if we were doing this at church, each batch that we're making with these measures, we would make into 4 little balls. Okay, so as soon as you're ready, your hands should be clean. Hopefully you were wise and remembered our kind of status quo for right now, that your hands are clean before we started. At church, we would be doing this wearing rubber gloves. Until we get to this point, because this is a very difficult step to make happen. So if you've got a hand in the bowl, you can form that dough into 4 smaller balls. And it should be a little warm to the touch. So when you put your hands in the dough feels a little warm. Depending on how well you did your mixing, you should have pretty even color. And if you need to mix it a little bit more before you take it out of your bowl, you can do that with the bowl. So something special in my kitchen right now, I'm using my grandma's bread bowl. This is my grandma's aluminum bread bowl. So my grandma was born in 1906. And I imagine that she probably used this bowl from somewhere in the 1940s on. And so today, here we are in the year 2020, her bread bowl is still making bread. Only different kind of bread. Great. So Krista and Elena, you guys have 4 balls?
We have 2.
We have 2.
Okay. I would make 4 just because baking. It makes it easier
Oh.
to bake. Yep. You don't have to do it that way, but it's easier to bake and it bakes more quickly, just like the Israelites
Can my dog have it?
back in the day. When you're done, you are done with your bowl, you can set that aside so you've got room if that's an issue for you.
There's a ball.
All right, so you're going to knead that, mix it even more. Do that with all 4. So this is where the really awesome part is that as a family, you've got more hands than just me with 2. This is where it gets really fun. So you want to make it into a round, flat patty. Now, what it looks like, it's not a pancake, but it should be dry enough that you can touch it. Maybe yours might be a little more sticky, kind of varies, but you should make it into a round patty that's probably a little thicker than either your pinky finger or your index finger, so you can use that as a measure. Spray a cookie sheet really well, and then do that, because that's good. A cookie sheet really, really well, and you can place it on the cookie sheet. So once you have all 4 of yours ready, what you're going to do then is take a butter knife, like this, and you are going to mark and make the sign of the cross in your bread. Now, why are we making a sign of the cross? You can think of all of the reasons why we would make a sign of the cross. I'm not going to answer that for you, but why we do it this way for the seminary bread is to make it easier. Hi, Krista's mom and Elena's grandma.
Photo bomber.
That was cute. To make it easier to break apart to serve to like a large group of people. So I am going to pause here. As soon as this is done, as soon as this part is done, you would put this into the oven. According to the recipe, it says to bake at 350 degrees for 10 minutes. So as we do that, we will come back. We are taking this out and we'll show you the final step.
Nasty.
So we're cutting into a sneak peek of what they look like in Krista's oven because my oven light is broken. Does not work. So that's what they look like while they're baking. So we will make a little snap back to video when we are done and show you the final step. All right, so now in Krista's house, wow, that looks great. So the only difference is the salt makes it flatter, right? These are a little poofier than they normally would be because of the added baking soda or salt powder. No, baking soda. Must be the soda that makes it puffier. I don't know. You can tell I bake a lot, right? But you add oil to the top. You can oil it as much or as little as you like. And then put them in a place that is whatever works for you, let them cool. But I would give it about another 5 minutes and then go ahead and break one apart and you can taste it. But make sure you save your bread.
On the second.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's right. 5 to 8 more minutes. Forgot about that. So oil and then more time. All right, so mine have been in the oven for 10 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take oil. Elena and Krista have already done this and they did it correctly the first time. I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to brush with oil each one. And once you've done that, added oil to the outside, you're going to put it back in the oven for another 5 to 8 minutes. So the next time you grab beef, it should be done. Elena, you're so funny.
She's wondering if Italian seasoning would be appropriate for communion bread.
But are we using it for
Italian seasoning? Well,
Yeah.
the Pope might think so, maybe.
Are we using it for communion?
But the Pope actually isn't Italian. He only resides in Italy currently. He's actually Argentinian.
Argentinian.
Yes.
I can name all the capitals and South American continent. Not continents,
And
countries.
that's impressive. I cannot. I cannot. So, all right, back in the oven we go.
That looks delicious.
We're back with Krista's. Krista's looking very good. Tell us how they smell.
They smell delectable.
Smell like dough.
Delectable. Sadly, I wish that smells could come through
Smell-o-vision.
virtually, but we do not have. Yeah, we don't have smell-o-vision. Boy, if anybody could invent that, like, and widespread make that go, that would be cool. The other thing you can do, I think, as a last kind of thing, and that's totally up to you if you feel like you want to do that. If you want to add a little more oil on the top, it helps keep it moist a little.
These are plenty moist.
I know.
Yeah, they're pretty moist.
Yes. They look really good. They look really, really good. All right, I'm just waiting for mine to come out of the oven, so we'll be back in just a second. Like, do it. Probably here in my kitchen that my. Oh yeah. There we go. Turn off my oven and just smell first. Yours definitely looks prettier than mine. Mine look a little more dry, but
Oh, they look good.
they do look good. They smell good. They smell very good. I'm gonna add just a little more oil to mine, and then I'm gonna let them cool. I'm gonna give mine about 5 minutes and sample. Are you guys gonna sample yours too?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think we could.
I
Yeah.
think we should sample together at the end. So we'll be back in just a minute when we are ready to sample. Oh, wait. All right, so here's what my plate full looks like. Mine are still a little warm to the touch, but Krista and Elena's are ready. And so I'm gonna break apart one.
Whoa.
So this would be a perfect, you can't see, I don't think you can see the steam rising, can you? You can, it's awesome.
Woohoo!
Smells so good. Oh, I can see yours too. So when we would be doing communion, the pastor would be holding this up, he'd be breaking it in half and saying that this is the body of Christ given for you. And then during distribution, they'd be breaking off a piece of this. So you ready? We're gonna.
Okay.
Are you gonna?
I'm hungry. Yes.
I think Honey should try a piece too.
So I think the secret though is the error, like the error ingredient, because it's poopier than normal. So if we're gonna make this for our home and we want it poopier, we're gonna add baking powder, baking soda. Excuse me. But for
Baking soda.
communion, we would leave it out so it would be flatter. But it's really got good texture. You can taste the molasses. So here's a good little a fun thing. If you as a family save one for communion on Maundy Thursday, make your bread before and save one of these so that you can have this together with your little communion pack that you guys picked up as well. That would be really good. If you want to just eat this bread because it is so good, if you take a little butter and whip it together with some maybe cinnamon and sugar, or if you take some butter and whip it together with honey, make some honey butter. Honey butter would be the perfect accent for this. So hi honey, yeah, the dog, that's sweet. Anyway, so I want to thank Krista and Elena for being good sports, for baking and eating bread with me this morning in a virtual capacity in our own kitchens. And I want to wish you all of God's blessings as you guys make some bread and experiment with this on your own. See you later. Have a great day. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Awesome.